It is indeed the time of year for financials, as we now have some stuff from Take-Two for the Q2 period of the fiscal year ending 2017, where they detailed some stuff about GTA 5, Mafia 3, and of course their general sales. So let's kick things off with GTA 5, shall we? As they have said that the particular title has shipped 70 million units in its lifetime, and Mafia 3 selling figures to retail were over 4.5 million in its first week of availability. Now we'll go through Mafia 3 in a bit more detail in just a bit, but first let's talk their overall financials, shall we? As for this fiscal second quarter, net revenue did grow 21% to 420.2 million as compared to 347 million, that's dollars of course, for the fiscal quarter 2016. Net income was 36.4 million compared to 54.7 million year over year. As for revenue, net revenue digital was up by 14% to 230.8 million as compared to 202.4 million during the same period last year. As for the biggest contributors to this success, GTA 5 and BioShock The Collection were the two biggest contributors to revenue for the quarter. However, GTA Online and XCOM 2 as well as NBA 2K16 were also noted as games having largely contributed to that 21% growth. Now it seems consumers, at least for Take-Two, were spending a lot of money on virtual currency and DLC, as consumer spending on those things, as well as online games, accounted for 56% of digitally delivered net revenue, or 31% of total net revenue. So again, people buying a lot of stuff digitally from Take-Two, and the largest contributors to this particular stream of revenue, that being digital, was of course NBA 2K16, as well as GTA Online and GTA 5. Now, I did say I'd talk more about Mafia 3, and I've got some more here for you. Now, you may remember my video the other day where there was a supposed post from a ex-developer disparaging Take-Two rather heavily, and of course 2K, where they were talking about how 2K's meddling killed various games and how Mafia 3 had no chance of making its money back, and yada yada yada. And we do have some information here that kind of points to that not being as true as we thought, and of course I did kind of remain skeptical with that original video, but Mafia 3 is the fastest selling game in 2K's history, generating week 1 sell-in of more than 4.5 million. However, sell-in is the same as shipped, which does mean sold to retail. So that's not 4.5 million copies in the hands of gamers. However, if it is the fastest selling game in 2K's history, that's still pretty impressive. And of course, if retail stores are ordering more copies than perhaps they anticipated, and getting 4.5 million total, that of course means they're selling copies. They're not going to be getting more copies of a game that isn't selling. That makes no sense. So that of course does point to their comments about Mafia 3 having no hope of making even, perhaps not as true as some people might have thought. But of course we don't have actual sales figures here, so again, I'd say remain skeptical about that original video, but perhaps don't immediately chuck it in the bin, because we don't have hard figures here. However, the CEO Strauss Zelnick did also speak on the rather mixed reviews for Mafia 3, and he said, quote, "Mafia 3 reviews were lower than we would have liked, but there are a lot of stellar reviews, and I think the most prominent reviewers really loved it and recognise that what we are doing here from a story, art, character and excitement perspective is really unmatched in the marketplace. In terms of reviews and scores, sort of an odd anomaly. I think we and our competitors are seeing some anomalies in the review system. We take them as they are and we don't argue with it. But I think we do have an enormous number of exceedingly favourable reviews. And most importantly, consumers love the title and they're buying it hand over fist, and at the end of the day, that's how we're judged." Now, we don't have hard figures for NBA 2K17, but the sell-in to date is currently more than 4.5 million units as well. Now, he also spoke a little bit about the future of their company in terms of what they're expecting for the fiscal year 2018, and they do feel that it'll be another strong year for the company. Of course, their release date sort of slate is being led by Red Dead Redemption 2 in the fall of next year. And Strauss finished up by saying, quote, "Take-Two's business continued to outperform during the second quarter, enabling us to deliver strong net revenue and better than expected bookings growth. Our outstanding results were highlighted by the series' record-breaking launch of NBA 2K17, ongoing robust demand for GTA 5, and increased recurrent consumer spending, including year-over-year bookings growth from Grand Theft Auto Online." So, there you have it. Just one last thing I want to mention regarding Mafia 3. There's another important thing we should remember. Perhaps these figures won't be continuing to be so high now that, of course, reviews are out and everyone is aware of the problems that the game has, and of course the bungled PC launch and a bunch of other stuff. So what I'm saying is perhaps these were, you know, the rush of the first week, like, oh yeah, got to buy Mafia 3 now. And of course the reality of the game situation is set in. You know, it's not a terrible game by any means, no. It has several good parts, but a lot of problems as well. And perhaps we'll see those high sales sort of trickle down and calm down to the point where perhaps those comments from those previous ex-developer, or alleged ex-developer I should say, are actually going to become true. Without hard figures it's hard to say, but I have a feeling that that first week rush is definitely going to calm down now that of course the reviews are out in the wild, videos are out in the wild, and all that good stuff. So that's me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.